Another mass shooting.
Right.
I read. So.
Anyway, it's kind of an interesting world, you know?
It is.
Deficit he gets from that.
He said that he's,
You said, where's that?
good.
Maryland.
Leads to the left.
His,
All right, let's get this going. Yesterday, left side was nothing.
The City Council of the City of Gumbel City will meet in a special meeting in City Hall located at 1716 West Main Street, Gumbel City, Texas, on Thursday, June 9th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Roll call from my left, please.
Y'all's here.
Evans here.
LaRue here.
Key here.
Foster here.
We have quorum. Proclamation honoring the graduating class of 2022. Whereas the 2021-2022 academic year has been unconventional as challenges of the global pandemic and tragic effects of gun violence continue to haunt and disrupt the education system, and whereas seniors of Maybank High School as well as other schools across Texas and the nation have demonstrated resilience, flexibility, and fortitude despite these challenges, as their desire to succeed and their ability to adapt inspires countless others, and whereas the teachers, coaches, staff, counselors, administrators, sponsors, and parents have shown dedication and support helping guide these students toward their future in these unprecedented times, and whereas seniors have optimistically looked past all challenges as these experiences have and will continue to shape their futures and have demonstrated their commitment to education and their optimism for a better future. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Gumbel City, Texas hereby recognizes the achievement of all graduating members of the class of 2022 and encourages all residents to join us in supporting these students on this important milestone as they have entered the next chapters of their lives. We also recognize the passion that parents, grandparents, as well as all others who have raised and in any way positively shaped these young minds and mentored them towards this momentous milestone. Congratulations to you all. You have done a good thing in the world, and for this, we are thankful. Citizens' comments. The purpose of this item is to allow citizens an opportunity to address the City Council on items that are listed on the agenda or issues that are not listed on the agenda. Any person desiring to make a public comment must first sign in at the podium at least 10 minutes prior to the start of the meeting in order to be recognized by the presiding officer. Individual citizens' comments are limited to 3 minutes. The presiding officer may ask the citizen to hold their comment on an agenda item until that agenda item is reached. The City Council has no obligation to respond in any manner to comments or questions from the public. Any response from a member of the City Council to non-agenda comments is limited to a statement of specific factual information, a recital of existing policies, or directions to the staff for follow-up. Let's see, we've got 3. Mr. Dennis Beatty.
Yes, I'm Dennis Beatty, and I'd like to speak to the council today about the 380 agreement that's dated March 27th, 2012, between the Gun Barrel City EDC, and Silverleaf. I was on the City Council and was the treasurer of the EDC and participated in the negotiations with the developer and the structure of the agreement. The project was to be an 80-unit low-income housing development, which Gun Barrel City needed badly. Silverleaf is an excellent example of what can happen when a city and a developer work together to improve a city for its citizens. The city needs to honor its obligations under the 380 agreement. The developer has honored all of his obligations. The city has had 10 years per the agreement to do the engineering and build the road. This is Luther Lane, by the way, and has not. I reviewed the agreement recently, in particular, paragraph 5, which is roadways, fire lanes, and drainage, and it's explicit in its language regarding the $63,500 that was given by the developer to the city for the development of Luther Lane. And the agreement specifically states that after 10 years, if the four-lane Luther Lane road is not built adjacent to his property, that the $63,500 should be given back to the developer. And I believe Mike Sugru has copies of that paragraph, which I gave him a few minutes ago for all the city council and the mayor. These funds should be in a special escrow account as stated per the agreement that was set aside for this purpose. If the city elects to, if I understand that the city has referred this to the city attorney. If the city tries to avoid payment, this not only they might not only incur additional attorney fees and court costs, should they lose this in court, if they decide to take it to court. I think that's a likely outcome. My final point: if the city doesn't honor its obligations, it will potentially hurt future development in the city. Projects like the Big Chief Landing and the LP Island Development Project. The future developers may not come to the city because they'll hear that the city doesn't honor its agreements. Thank you.
Ms. Linda Rankin?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Linda Rankin. I live at 184 Ocean Drive in Gun Barrel. I also was on the EDC at the time that we made the agreement with Mr. Sugru. Steve Webster was our president of the EDC and ran the EDC at that time. And the two, between Mr. Sugru and our president of the EDC, were very clear with one another and with that board as to what the agreement was going to be. And that is why we had the attorneys to draw up this 380 agreement, and they were as explicit as they possibly could be to let the council and the EDC and the developer know exactly what was expected. And in this 10-year period of time, every time we have changed city managers, I have brought this to their attention. And it was during Brett's tenure as city manager that he was able to get the first portion of the extension of Luther Lane started. I have brought this up before in our other council meetings and what have you. And I'd like to also mention that we have some other developers along Luther Lane that have come to us, and we've had a meeting with the city manager, and they're willing to go in on Luther Lane. They actually are willing to help us put Luther Lane in and to run the infrastructure. So it would be to the city's best interest to go ahead and open up that residential area back there if you could afford to do that. And if you go in with the developers and you have a strong 380 agreement, as this gentleman does, you would be doing a great service to our city. But for in regards to this 380 agreement, I think that it's so plain and clear. You either owe the gentleman money that was in escrow or you need to do the road. And I don't think there's any quibbling about that, and I hope you don't take it to litigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, Mr. Arnswald. My name is Mike Sugru. I live at 110 Carmel Place, Maybank. I am the developer owner of Silverleaf at Gun Barrel City LP, and I was the one that entered into the agreement with the city and the Economic Development Commission. Steve Webster and I talked about the possibility of affordable housing for Gun Barrel City 5 years in advance of us being able to even get the application put together for Gun Barrel City to score. These properties have to score. And Gun Barrel's turn finally came up. We were at the ready. We put the application in. We did everything that was asked of us to do, and then more. There's a generator over there, a Generac that could run to dang city if need be, and it runs an 1.5 inch sewer line. But that was over-engineered by, I hate to say it at the time, the city engineers, but we acquiesced. The part we did get in our favor is we got propane instead of diesel. They wanted diesel. We didn't want diesel because of the potential spill issue in the lake. The part that we're calling everyone's attention to is paragraph 5, and I've sent it to everyone here already. I know you're probably familiar with it, but it clearly states where the road need to be, and it talks about it has to be done within 10 years, and it says being approximately 948 feet in length as reflected in Exhibit C, which is in there, and it is the northern end continuing north along the entire western edge of the property. And of course, we did appreciate when Lucy Lane came in from 334. I think that's important to the people who live there to have an access out that way, and especially for emergency vehicles. Also, the fire lane on the original plan was gravel. We acquiesced and did all concrete. We worked with the fire chief, and we put the Knox boxes and all the things that they wanted. I will say this, as far as we're concerned, we've done everything that's been requested of us by the city. We ask the city to do what they've agreed to here as well. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. Mr. Sugru, since this is a citizen's comment, we're not really able to express much more than just factual information. So I will say this, is that the council has not heard anything about this project other than your email. Us having the attorney review it is by no way an indication that we're looking to take action. We're just doing our due diligence and having the attorney take a look at it. There's been no decisions made. There has been no lean towards one side or the other because, again, the council collectively as a body has not heard this yet. We will hear this at our regular meeting on June 21st. So if someone is telling you that we're going to litigate this, we haven't made that decision at all, okay? Thank you, sir. Pardon? Okay. Well, it came up by the other two speakers, so I don't know where they're coming. And Mayor Beatty was mayor for several of those years during that time, so, you know, something that he could have taken action on during that time as well. But we'll move on. Thank you very much. We will get back to it. Item 1A, presentation of, oh, wrong one. Discuss and/or take action to move the June 28th, 2022 regular city council meeting up 1 week to June 21st, 2022 due to the runoff elections. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to discuss or take action to move the June 28, 2022 regular city council meeting up 1 week to June 21st, 2022 due to runoff elections.
Second.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote for my left, please.
Y'all's yes.
Evans, yes.
LaRue, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank y'all for coming tonight. We do appreciate it.